All right, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be focusing on Deadside, and Deadside in the year 2022. I believe this is the year for Deadside. I want to talk about what has changed so far, what is going to change yet this year, and some changes that I would like to see in the game as well. But first, I want to also tell you I got some game keys to give away. I'm giving away 2 for this video. So all you gotta do is subscribe, and down below just comment and say the words "The Year of Deadside," and then I will select 2 random people who get a copy of the game. And go ahead and do it. If maybe you have a friend that wants to play the game, and this is a free way for them to get in and check it out. So yeah, let's continue on. And we're going to check out first, we're going to check out the roadmap for Deadside. And then we're kind of go see how they've done. And also I want to talk about, so Deadside recently, I would say within the last, well, it took place, I think in like September, October was when Untitled joined. Because before that, it was only, a handful of guys, people working on the game for Deadside. And then they brought in Untitled, and were able to add, quite a bit more people to be working on the game. Their first couple months, they took time just kind of figuring out the game, what was going on with it. And then their first major thing was implementing Unreal Engine 4's newest, latest update to it. So they had to update the engine, and that was their first step. And we're kind of just... And that's kind of what they say. That was like their first thing they wanted to do. Like they said here on the roadmap, is they wanted to first build the technical foundation and groundwork so they can build off of that. So yeah, so the roadmap for 2022, number 1, technical foundation and groundwork. We've seen that with Unreal Engine and just kind of like improving the game and just trying to get it ready for everything that's yet to come. So yeah, so then next we're looking at the spawn system. So that was a big change to the game. That was the first thing that they started doing. So this is kind of what their plans were, starting. This is, they made this announcement in December, so this is their plans for the year. And we've seen a lot of these starting to come, starting to be updated and changed. So we've seen a lot of updates. We've seen 1 update every month of this year, of 2022. So it's been a very good year for Deadside so far. Hopefully we get more content, more changes, and hopefully some of the things that I would like to see changed are looked at a little bit more closely. So resources and craft system redesign and expansion. We've seen a little bit of that. Some PvE events, missions, map density expansion. The map hasn't expanded, but it has added a lot more new locations, weapon systems, and content overhaul. Weapon systems, I think they've kind of started out. They've started changing some stuff. I think we're going to see more over the course of the year. The base building and raiding, we've seen a little bit of change there. Nothing to base building yet, but well, I guess a little bit. You can build a little bit more different places on the map. They expanded where you can build. In raiding, we've seen recently they've basically doubled raiding, raid chances, and then just some other little tweaks to it as well. Vehicles, that's the huge one that everybody wants to see. We have a river system right now, so I think boats are coming soon. Land vehicles, we'll see. They could be maybe fall, winter, who knows, maybe even sooner. 100 player servers, that's gonna be great for the game. That's gonna be PvP central. I can't wait for that. So yeah, so let's kind of see what they said and what we can kind of expect going forward. So we'll look at this roadmap, and then we'll look at all the updates that they've done so far this year. And I'll talk about a little bit about what I want to see changed as well. So let's see. So up here, they kind of just talk about adding to the team, bringing Tiny Pixel in, and different game studio, publisher, and what we should expect is, more updates. So I said like 6 major updates and then like several minor updates in between. And what we've seen so far from that statement is one good update a month. And then they'll also within that month, they usually they'll do some fixes that might have occurred from that update. So like I said, they start off with their technical foundation and groundwork, updating the Unreal Engine. They said they want to work on some movement optimizations, death and damage registration. So that's like hit registration. They want to work on inventory and item storage, which they have done. Support for advanced base building systems. I think we're going to see that coming up soon because we got a little teaser recently of this picture, and this is a workbench. So what that's going to bring is weapon repairing, disassembling weapons and using parts to fix, your current weapons. And so I think that's going to add a lot of replayability to the game. Gear syncs are always good. That's going to extend the life of you playing the game. It looks like they're going to be adding possibly some, some power. So I'm going to use maybe a battery to, at least on the workbench, we're going to have some light source in bases now. And maybe this leads to other options of lighting. What else do we have on this table here? Anything? We got some paint, maybe something with the paint coming. I don't know. But yeah, that's about all I can see out of this. But the workbench is going to be a great addition. That's huge for the game. Let's see. Yeah, so the spawn system overhaul. So let's just go ahead and, kind of see what they've done so far. So we'll kind of go, this is just kind of them introducing themselves. But if you go up to 0.2.6 is kind of when, this is when Tiny Build is starting to, hit us with some updates. But before this, we saw like the October update gave us like Halloween skins for guns, and they did the same kind of thing with the winter update. And I think that was just them, giving us something, but then also in the back, just they were working on that Unreal Engine update. So this was their first kind of real change to the game, as they changed the respawn system, which was a big change. It went from, the dog tag system of using rep points to buy your spawn where you want to spawn, and that was outside of your vicinity because they had that circle where you couldn't spawn within, to now you can, every time you die, you can spawn wherever you want, on the map. And I think it's helped. I think that's a good thing for, without vehicles. It's definitely helped spawning and new players not having dog tags. You'd have to build up to be able to spawn close to your body, but now you can spawn, pretty close. So I think it's good for new players. I think some of the more, long-term players, that some like it, some don't. I mean, I think it's fine. I haven't had too many big issues with it. Definitely spawning, community servers, like a lot of them before this update had like pistol starts, but I think, starting with a knife now is the way to go, just because if you're spawning so close to your body, you just don't want people just sprinting back to their body over and over with a pistol and stuff. It just kind of becomes redundant. And it's not a good gameplay experience. So I've just moved my server, which is Just Survive Deadside. Check it out. One of the more populated servers. I've moved that to being a knife start for this reason. So yeah, this was a pretty decent update. They expanded, the base building zones. They added the new location of Silo, which is nice. That's the area southeast of the lake by South Safe Zone, or Mid Safe Zone now, I guess. So yeah, so there's a decent update there. And then if we go up, we got, we got the bearing finder. They're teasing, and same with binoculars. They're no longer 2.5 times, they're 4 times. So yeah, now they're talking about the 0.2.7, and that's what was included in it, is this stuff. So here we go. So 0.2.7 was the respawn beacons. So basically all of this stuff was dealing with respawn beacons, and then the binoculars. So the bearing finder was added, which, create a bearing finder, take your shovel, find a location, dig up dig up the item that you need to craft your respawn beacon, and now you have respawn beacons on the map. Which I think it's a pretty cool update. Again, they're trying to help. I think they're trying to assist, you know, transportation, just getting back to the PvP. That's the kind of what they did with that update. And then let's see what else. Okay, then we have the big river update. So that was just the test. So I want to get the whole thing here. Okay, so that's on the public test. I want to read the actual update. Here we go. 2.8. So this is the river system. They completely changed the map on this. They added 8 new locations to the map with this update, and the map just looks so different. Like, you know, there's obviously the old points, landmarks that were on the map before. The POIs are all like they were the same, but everything looks different around them. Some of them changed up a little bit, but yeah, they added 8 new ones. These are the new locations. They're mostly boat type towns and stuff like that. So obviously boats are coming into the game. Just huge. They added more respawn points, which is great, you know. So there's a lot of respawn points around the map now with this new spawn system. So it's pretty easy to get back into the fight. You just got to go, you know, loot and then get back out there. And then let's see. And then the next update, then they had their 2-year anniversary update. And this added a limited time cake to the item, to the loot pool. And this is actually awesome. I thought it was a really cool little limited time event that they had going on, and the cake was great. It was an awesome healing item, and I hope they do more stuff like this. This was really cool. Like, that was awesome. I like the cake. The cake, what this did is I like having a reason to kill any AI, because any AI would drop this, and I hope that they come out with another item that stays in the game where it's like, I mean, they have the dog, not the dog tags, but they have the red keys that randomly drop off of AI. But I would like something else kind of like this. This was nice. And then let's see. So we had just like their usual hot fixes after updates. And then they had this update, which we're going to get past the PTS version, and we're going to go to the live version here. So they added fast travel to the game. This is 0.2.9. Added fast traveling. That was a pretty, it just came out of nowhere for me. Like, I didn't even think this was going to be something that they were doing. But yeah, fast traveling between safe zones. It's pretty cool. They brought back the dog tags for this. So now you have to do missions to get dog tags. They no longer just drop off of random AI. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, it kind of leads to more people definitely doing missions, which is good. But it just takes a lot of dog tags to fast travel. So you get 1 for a medium, you get 2 for a hard, and 3 for an epic. So let's say you have a team, like the default player size on like official servers is 5. Let's say you have a team of 5, right? So if you all want to fast travel between a safe zone, you need to do 5 epic missions, because each fast travel costs 3 dog tags. So just to travel as a team one time between safe zones, that's going to take 5 epic missions, or like, you know, interchange these other missions. But it's going to take a lot of missions to do just for a one-way trip. So I think by doing that, it's restricting it to mainly just being individual players transferring items between the safe zone, which I think is fine. But I think for right now, when you don't have any other transportation and you want to get up to those north, if you're in the south and you want to get up to those north missions that are popping up there, and you want to easily fast travel up there, I think it'd be nice to allow that and have it be a little bit easier to get dog tags. So I think, you don't have to really change this or the price of a trip, but maybe just add more ways to get dog tags, like add them to the heli crash, add them to the cargo. Maybe you get 1 in the cargo, 2, I don't know, but at random. Add them to the cargo convoy. Definitely add them to the convoy case, because I mean, right now nobody cares about the convoy case. Like all you get is random gun attachments, which sometimes you get ones that are just useless or you don't really care about, like a pistol silencer, and you know, that's not really something that everybody wants to fight over the case for. So either they need to up the rewards in that convoy case or get rid of the circle that follows you around, because it's not worth the risk reward there of losing the gear that you have on your person. It's not worth what's in the convoy case right now. So add dog tags to the convoy, add dog tags, add, you know, red keys to the convoy case, add C4 to the convoy case, you know, or explosives. I would add, you know, it's a C4 as an option. Like add to that loot pool, make it, you know, random, but give us some good stuff in that convoy case so that we can fight over, make it worth everyone knowing where you are on the map. You know, because right now that risk just isn't outweighed by that reward. So like what else were we talking about? Oh yeah, the big one of this update was transferring your modded weapons. So now you can take all your gun attachments that are on your guns and store them on your gun, you know, in your storage. So that was a huge change to the game, and definitely welcome. So that opened up a lot of inventory slots for people because they were just being taken up by all your attachments and stuff. So, and they also updated the pistol animations, shooting and reloading. And, you know, obviously this is probably going to be coming to the other guns as well here soon, which is going to be awesome. You know, I think the new animations would look really good. And they added new achievements for the fast travel. So yeah, there's been some, you know, definitely some good updates. I think we're seeing content, you know, it's like we're seeing, like, you know, that they're going to be bringing us some stuff. We just got to see, you know, I'm just looking forward to this next update for sure. And then they came out with a little small update recently that was focused around raiding and the missions. And what this did is it doubled the chance of raid tokens dropping. So it doubled raiding, how much raiding is how common raiding is. It went from 10% to 20% as the default setting there. And then they limited how many missions, only red missions. They limited how many red missions can be on the map at once. So the max is 10, which is good, because I mean, you really wouldn't see, you know, 11, 12, 13 on the map at once anyway that often. It'd be rare to see that many. So limiting it to 10 was fine. It didn't really change a whole lot. It just changed, like, maybe some servers that had them cranked way up where you would get a bunch more, and that's just like optimization. They also wanted to, by doing that, they wanted to force more PvP by doing that, which I think is fine. And also maybe it's opening up more room for new types of missions. So limiting it to 10 red missions, but then maybe they're going to be adding some new yellow missions at some point, you know, here soon. So they can't have just the whole map flooded with missions. So they need to, you know, restrict where they need to, you know. So yeah, I think that was, and also they had some server and client optimizations, which is always good. They're trying to optimize the game as much as possible. And I think it's pretty well optimized right now. The only issues that we're really seeing are still on like high pop servers, you know, getting some rubber banding there. I think that's more, you know, quite possibly it's more on the, you know, the server provider side than more than anything, but hopefully they're working together to find, you know, the balance there and optimizing the game as much as possible. So yeah, so that was the most recent update. And I think along with this, so if they're going to double rating, my thoughts here, I think whoever activates that raid token should be the only one to see where the raid is. And I think with that, it should show them exactly where the base is. No one else should see the raid. It just shows the person who activated that raid token. It shows them exactly where that base is. I think that's a good balance to the current system, where right now it's you pop it and the whole entire server can see a general area of where that raid is. To me, I think what that does is it kind of makes the person who activated that raid token a lot less likely to join that raid. And other people, you know, I don't think it's doing what, you know, I think a lot of people avoid it just because, you know, it's that risk reward again, you know, just you're not, sometimes, a lot of times you're not getting a lot out of it, and you're risking losing what you have on you. So it's like, and I think the person who activates the token should, you know, who killed that person and went and got that raid token, they should have a more of a chance to raid. Whereas they pop the token and maybe they're just like, well, I don't want to risk losing my stuff and doing that raid because I know all these other teams are going to be trying it, to try to raid that, because they can all see it. I think that needs to change. It needs to be whoever activates the token, they see the exact base that they need to, that they can go raid. I think that's how it should be. You know, I think that'd be a great change. I just really like to see that now that, especially now that raiding has doubled in chances. So we're seeing like double amount of the raids on servers right now, which is good. I just think they need to change some of that logic behind it. So now we're going to kind of, going off of that, you know, that's kind of one of the changes I would like to see. I would like to see some more changes as well. And we're going to dive into that right now. What I want to see changed in the game, I think these need to be addressed. I think safe zone camping, you know, it's always been, you know, it's a pretty big issue. And it just becomes abused. And in a lot of games, most other survival games that have safe zones, they have something to help prevent it. And Deadside just doesn't have anything currently. I've seen a lot of other games with some good systems in place, and I think a good option would be to make a 30-second timer of invincibility and / where you can't shoot when you're leaving safe zone. This stops players from dying immediately leaving safe zone. And I think maybe having like an indicator on them, like an X, like if you aim at them and they're in this state where they can't be hurt, that it shows like another player coming in that they're under that state. So like then they don't waste their bullets trying to like shoot them or whatever. And then also you could have hostile players unable to enter safe zone. So anyone who attacks another player or shoots their weapon can't enter safe zone for like 5 minutes, or you can do less or more time, you know, kind of whatever they kind of want to decide on that. They could do even like a minute, you know, where they can't enter safe zone. But I know I've seen it in another game where it was like 10 minutes. So I think this is a good way. What this really is stopping is players sitting on the flags, going in and out and using it as a shield. So sitting like right outside flags, shooting at somebody, and if they start to get shot, they just back up and they have a shield and they can't die. That 100% needs to be changed in this in Deadside. So this has to happen. Another way of doing it is you can make so that hostile players, so if you shoot somebody and you become hostile and you go into safe zone, you start getting damaged by going into safe zone, and then other players can shoot you as well if you're in safe zone. I've seen this in another game. And then also what they could do on top of that is, on top of like the hostile players, is they could have AI guards that kill hostile players that come near safe zone. So like if you're hostile and you're shooting people around safe zone and you come even close to safe zone, they should have AI guards in towers with like M99s, MG36, VSDs, just like killing you right away. Like have these guys be, you know, just one shot kills like they already are a lot of times, but like that MG36 from Convoy, have that guy up in a tower just mowing the hostile players down. So that means like this is going to stop people from camping around safe zone. I think a combination of this can definitely work. More stuff going forward. We have chat toxicity. You know, this is definitely a big issue, especially on like official servers where they have no moderators on there, where you just see people spamming racism, spamming other things like of the sort. And there just needs to be a chat filter in the game. It's plain and simple. We need to get the abuse down in this game. We need I think what the main goal here is player retention. It's going to keep people playing. It's going to keep them from leaving, seeing this stuff in chat. Like no new person that comes to the game wants to, no one wants to see that popping up in chat, you know, no respectable person. So they need to, you know, make some changes there. Add a chat filter, give admins more control over chat, you know, on off switch for global chat. They could also, what they also need to do along with that is make the kill feed and server messages like separate. They need to separate that so like a player would be able to turn off chat, but also still see kill feed. Because right now they have the option to turn off like pop-up messages, which turns off chat and the kill feed and the server messages, but they need to separate that. They need to make it so, a player can just turn off chat altogether. Because sometimes I just want to play and not see any chat, even if it's nice chat. I just want to be immersed in the gameplay. So I want to turn off chat, but I want to still see the kill feed, when I get a kill, and I want to see like the server messages and stuff like that. So kind of make those individual settings that you can turn on and off would be nice as well. But I still think we need, complete like admin chat control. Maybe somebody wants to create a server that has no chat and is just full immersion, and still have like the kill feed and server messages, but no chat. Just have their players be immersed in the game, and that's that. Also, someone's brought this up to me before. Another admin, adding like a mute function for admins, where if they can just mute somebody in chat, and that person can no longer talk in chat or say anything over voice chat, just muting them in the game. And you can also add this option for players themselves too. Just like you can do it within each individual player can do it if they just right click on somebody's name and go to their Steam profile and block communication. But make that more of a simple process. Just right click on somebody's name and click mute. Make it a little bit more simple. But overall, I think we need a chat filter. We need some more admin chat controls. Let's see what else. A big one, and a lot of these, what they're doing is they're getting like the community servers have all these rules that they really need to, they end up having to do, and a lot of this is addressing that. Like make these things already built into the game, these things that are stopping players from abusing the game, like combat logging. Right now I think it's a 30-second timer. You can just sit there, leave in the middle of a fight, make it at least 90 seconds. That would be the most simple fix, just upping the time to like 90 seconds. That would definitely help with the combat logging. Or you can make it like other games where if somebody was recently in combat, whether they were shot by a player or they were doing the shooting, then it kicks in like they're a hostile player, like same with like the safe zone thing, like make them a hostile player, and for like 5 minutes or a couple minutes you can't leave the server. So yeah, so like I think the simplest one that they could do right now, just make it a 90-second timer instead of 30, and do the same for the so that'd be like the leave server and the quit game timer. So basically what this would promote is people making sure they're in a safe area when they leave the game. So if you're going to do a quick quit of the game, make sure you're in a safe area, because you're going to sit there for 90 seconds. Or you can wait out. If you're not in a safe area, you can wait out that timer and leave. Or if you're in safe zone, it doesn't matter. You can just quit game, and your character will stay there for 90 seconds, but you're not gonna, you'll be just fine. And then a huge issue in the game right now, we're moving on to suiciding should be a random respawn, and this is definitely needs to be changed, because right now every cargo drop, because of that new respawn system where it's just you can just spawn basically anywhere on the map, in the vicinity of any cargo drop you can spawn. So what people are doing is suiciding and spawning as close as they can to cargoes, and they're doing this every time. It's the easiest way to get loot in the game right now, is to just suicide and spawn by the cargo. So they 100% need to make suiciding a random respawn. Or I've talked with other people, and what they could do is get rid of suiciding altogether, because it's really not a needed mechanic. I think the only time it's really needed is if people are trying to like get unstuck and they've tried relogging into the game, which gets you unstuck and it'll give you a random spawn after that. But you'll still have all your gear. It'll just move you on the map randomly. If that doesn't work, sometimes people suicide and go back to their body. But to kind of fix both of those issues of having to relog and maybe trying to suicide, and just have a unstuck button, which maybe will, after, obviously you want a good amount of a timer on that, so it can't be abused at all. So if they're going to make this change, please, make it so it can't be abused at all. But an unstuck where maybe it'll move you a couple meters after a certain amount of time, so it'll get you unstuck from that door that you might be stuck in, or whatever. So definitely at least make it suiciding should be a random respawn, 100%, because right now cargoes, It's just everybody's suiciding and grabbing the cargo drop, and suiciding should not be a main mechanic of the game. That's just being abused right now. Also, so base snipers being unrateable is an issue. So people are sitting in their base, shooting from their base, and if they die in their base, who cares? Because they're going to drop the raid token in their base, and they're not going to be able to be raided. So they can just abuse bases as much as they want. And the only time that they can really get raided from this is if they get killed and then they are trying to get back to their base, and maybe they'll drop a raid token. But if they want to just but that's going to take a bit, because you still have your first initial respawn in your base. So it would take a player killing you 2 times, and then also a 3rd time if you're trying to come back after that. But that doesn't usually happen. So basically it's just getting abused. What they need to do is they need to make it so when you drop a raid token in your base, that raid automatically starts. So you still have the 20% chance of dropping that raid token, but if you're killed in your base and you drop one, it should automatically start a raid on your base. Or I think maybe even the better option here is to make bases like a safe zone of sorts, or at least just make it so when there's not a raid going on, you can't shoot from your base. So that would kind of fix that issue that a lot of these survival games with bases have, of people just roof camping, and it's a big complaint all the time. So that would kind of fix that if you just make it so you can't shoot from your base. I mean, that's pretty well fixed there. Just make it kind of like a safe zone, where you can't shoot, maybe where you can't take damage, something like that. But yeah, I think a system somewhat like that would be really good. It's something that I've thought about just fairly recently. The kind of safe zone aspect of it, just make it like that, where you can't even kill from your base, only during raids. Obviously you'd be able to still shoot from your base if there's a raid going on in your base. I think that'd be a interesting change. I think it would be a good change for the game overall. But at least make it so if you drop a raid token in your base circle, it starts a raid automatically on your base. Let's see what else we have. The unlootable bodies bug, which this is the worst bug in the game. It needs to be fixed. So right now it's like you'll get an unlootable message if sometimes if a body rolls down a hill, or just at random sometimes. You kill a player and you can't loot their body, or if you yourself fall off like a building or something like that, you die, you can't loot your body and get your gear back. And that's a huge issue for a survival game that's focused around loot. That this needs to be fixed, and I know they're working on it. But maybe like a fix would be like a lot of these survival games, or like games like PUBG, the old Just Survive game. You have Rust. They all have this system where you get, if someone dies, it drops like a bag on the ground. So I think that might be why all these games have done this, because maybe they've ran into this same issue where looting a body doesn't really work. So maybe in this game they're gonna have to do it, like PUBG or something, where it drops a crate, a bag on the ground, and that's what you loot to get all, like, you could still get like their clothes and everything just goes into this bag. It's not as immersive as like looting a body. I mean, I hope they can fix it's so you can loot the body and not have this glitch ever happen. This doesn't happen super often, but it happens enough where it definitely needs to be top priority of one of the top priorities above bug fixes, along with some base bugs that are out there and stuff like that. And then we have the stretched bodies bug. They definitely need to fix this one. This one is where you see a black streak or whatever just streaking across your screen, just all these stretched bodies. So then it makes you where PvP, or where players have been, and also it's just like it takes you out of the game when you're seeing these random stretched bodies across the screen. It just doesn't look good. Another big issue with the game that I hear a lot about is the one-shot kill Mosin AI. So this happens a lot of times at like hard and epic missions. It might happen at mediums, I'm not really sure, but you can have the best armor in the game and just turn a corner and be one shot by a Mosin. And this can happen, multiple times with multiple, your teammates. It happens quite often where you're getting one shot. And it's just, it seems like it's out of nowhere. You can't really do much to prevent it. Because these AI sometimes are just, pretty crazy with their aimbot. So I think, you know, a change to this could just be, just don't have it, because it's increased damage at these higher up missions. Maybe just decrease it back to normal AI damage and just increase health instead, where it would definitely still make the missions harder, because it's hard no matter what, because there's a lot of AI there, they're swarming you. Maybe just increase their health instead of the damage, so then at least you're not feeling like you're getting, you know, cheated out of a life where it's like you're just getting one shot randomly. So that might be a good change for it. I think overall the AI need a little bit of tweaking, but I think they've definitely done some. I could tell, like, have some different movements and stuff they do, but I think this one-shot Mosin AI needs to be addressed. I think some people say like the C1911 kind of has the same issue at these hard and epic missions. But it might not be one shot, I mean, you know, two shot or something like that, just dying quickly from the C1911. Another thing, they added that reload cancel, but there's an issue with it that I've noticed, where it sounds like you've reloaded your gun, because a lot of time when you're playing a game, you're not looking at your gun when you're reloading, you're looking, you know, in front of you, you're looking for players, but you go off the sound, and I don't think the sound is matched up with, you know, it being actually reloaded, because it sounds like your gun's reloaded and you should be able to sprint now, and you go to sprint and it cancels the reload, that you think it sounds like it's already done. So I think that needs to be timed out a little bit different. That might be a server issue with desync of the sound, I'm not sure, but they need to make some sort of change there, I think, because it happens a lot where people accidentally cancel their reload. And then another thing that I've noticed, it's something I've kind of forgotten about, but I figured I'd mention it. The base render distance kind of is an issue, because you can see players in their bases from a distance. So it's like all their walls will be invisible, but you see a player floating in the air. So that needs to be addressed. They just need to make it, they need to make like the player and the base distance, render distance, the same. So maybe making base render distances the same as players, which is 400 meters. So I think that might be a change that they should do. But yeah, so if you guys have any changes that you would like to see in the game, put a comment down below. I would love to have a discussion about it, because I really enjoy this game, and any positive, good changes that you guys can think of, I like to discuss those. And let me know if you think about mine. You know, you can shoot ideas back and forth, and we can try to talk to the dev team and get some things worked out. And don't forget, also down below, also comment and subscribe if you want. There's a chance at 2 different game keys for Deadside. You can share it with your friends. If you're looking to buy the game, use it yourself. But yeah, just type the comment, the Year of Deadside, down below. You can also add, you know, if you want suggestions for different changes of the game, you can also put those along with that. But as long as you put the Year of Deadside and you're subscribed, I'm going to pick 2 random people and you're going to get a key. So hope you enjoyed this video covering both all the roadmap, kind of the future stuff that might be coming to the game, and you know, what's happened, you know, what's been changed so far in the year 2022. And hopefully we see a lot of good changes. We still have 6 months left to see a lot of good changes this year to this game. You know, vehicles hopefully soon, 100-player servers, changes to base building. I think we're going to see a lot of good changes coming. So stay tuned to this channel. We have a Let's Play Deadside series going, and we'll be continuing